And we're live. We're just gonna wait a little bit before we start for a couple of minutes, and then we will start our hangout. Okay. One more minute. Hello, guys. Anybody out there? Would they like to type in and say hello? We're just waiting a minute.
Oh, it might just be you and me.
It looks like it. All right, it's 3:02. Hi, guys. P.R.Charles here, and it has been a very long time since I have been gone. And stepping out a little bit out of my comfort zone and doing a live hangout or YouTube live. And with me, my co-host today is Poe. Say hello, Poe.
Hi everyone.
Today, let's see. There's a lot of questions over. First off, I want to thank everybody for still checking in on me and sending their love, sending their comments of how am I? What am I doing? Is everything okay? When are you coming back? I've even had people call me personally to tell me that I need to get my butt back on YouTube. And I am thanking you all for the encouragement and showing that you care. Today was a little bit of a challenge coming out here because everything was not set up perfectly. And I was like, you know what? You just got to step out. You got to do this thing. You got to get it out there. Anyway, to introduce you to my co-host, Poe and I met. We were taking this training together. And in the process of taking the trainings, we bumped into one another and we just hit it off. It was an unlikely type of friendship because she was all the way over in, where were you, Poe?
In Perth, Australia. And yes, we connected because, we just liked the deeper sense of life. I think we both realized that we were both quite deep thinkers and we analyzed a lot about life, and we very much connected on that level when we were posting, weren't we, on Facebook?
Yes. And she posted something and I responded. I was very passionate about what I responded to. And she was like, well, who is this person that's responding like this? And we linked up. And here we are to this day. It is partly because of her why I'm on YouTube, because during our trainings, I was hiding this channel and she just kept pushing it out into the forefront, pushing it out into the forefront, pushing it out. And then my trainers were like, what are you doing with that? And so she was strongly encouraging me to move forward. And that is why I am here in YouTube land.
Yes. You were very sheepish. She was trying to hide and she was trying to pretend she didn't have a hair channel, and she basically got exposed. So now here she is promoting herself.
Yes. So she's here with me today. She will be the moderator and the voice to some of the questions I was asked while I was gone. And she will also moderate the questions that you all type in for me to respond to.
Okay. Are you ready to start?
Yes.
For the hard questions?
Yes, hard questions.
Okay, so I guess the most obvious question would be, where the heck have you been? Why have you not been posting on YouTube? Why did you just disappear? And the real answer.
Okay, the
The
real answer.
truth.
Well, would I really give a fake one? No, I'll give
No, no.
a half-ass. Okay,
And
where have I been? Okay, originally my goal was to take a little break. Why was I taking a little break? Because I felt like if my channel was running away from me. And it wasn't anybody else. I know it was me. Because in my mind, I kept saying, I know what these people want. I know what to give them. And okay, I'll just put it out there. But it got to a point where I know I could do better. I know where I wanted my channel to go. I knew what type of ideas I wanted to share. I do like and love the hair, but that wasn't my main point. It was the principle behind it. But then I started cheating. I started cheating in a sense that the videos, I would throw up a video and I'd come up with the concept of a video like about an hour before I'd shoot it. I say, okay, well, they'd want to know, okay, well, what are the 5 signs to getting sister locks? How do you maintain or how do you manage this? Oh, what product to use? Oh, maybe I'll do a style. Or it was just so off the cuff, which is a good thing. But I knew I was choosing it from a place of just get the video out, just get the video out. I had made a commitment to myself. Can I at least consistently post a video for a year? And that was my main goal. It really wasn't about, okay, how creative can you get? What message can you share or spread? I just was just throwing out videos, and then it wasn't fun anymore. And then I felt obligated. Well, what will happen if I stop? Will the people still come to my channel and look at the videos? Or if I'm really more myself, will the people still accept the videos, even if it's not always on here? And so I said, well, let me just take a break just to stop being crazy in my mind about it. And when I took the break, I did feel better. I felt calm. I felt at ease, because part of me was like, no, you still have to keep turning out videos no matter what. And it wasn't fun anymore. So I'm racing against myself, against the ideology of what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to do it and what is expected of me. And I am a recovering people pleaser. So I made a pact with myself. If I'm going to do this, I have to take time back. The plan was not a whole, what is it? I think I was gone for like a whole, is it like a year and a half or a year?
I think so.
Months? Ooh, that's a long time. It's about, because I was gone for like 3-4 months, and then it's been a year and it's like 15 months. Ooh, yeah, it's like a year and 6 months. I said to myself, okay, I'm good now. But then my offline business with Sister Locks took off. And then I found myself working around the clock. I was working every day. And I was putting in like 10 to 14 hours a day. So when the weekend came and it was time to make a video, I was too tired. And I kept saying next week, next weekend, next weekend. And here we are a whole year and a half later. So that is where I have been. I've been building and learning along this part of my journey. The intention was not to be gone that long, but it is what it is. And now that I'm back, I have to relearn everything because YouTube has changed. The platform has changed. The rules have changed. So as I am easing myself back into the public eye, I am basically, I jumped off the cliff and I am basically fashioning or building my wings on the way down in order to soar later. Let's put it that way.
Well, I'm happy that you're back, and you're back available, sharing yourself, and this time sharing who you are from a completely authentic space. So how about while you were away, I've noticed that there were some common questions that were being asked that people were curious about. So why don't we go through those questions first?
Sure.
Okay, so first question is, why don't you wear your hair out and let everyone see in your full glory, your beautiful full locks? Why is it something that you don't do very often?
Okay, I don't have a need to really like show my hair. It sounds strange when I say a need. When I first got my sister locks, it was a thing of, okay, I got sister locks. For me, the main goal was I can leave the house and I am happy with what I have. I am not dependent or attached or married to my braids, wigs. Well, I didn't wear wigs, weaves, extensions of any kind. I was just happy that I can be myself and step out into the public and be happy with me. As time went on, it was okay, I'll be happy when my hair gets a little bit longer, and a little bit longer was like to the shoulders because then I can style it a little bit more. But I always wore it carefree. After my hair started to get to a certain length, I realized that I liked the option of wearing it up all the time. And when I needed to wear it down, I would wear it down. I don't wear my hair out all the time is because it gets in the way and I have to pay attention. My older videos, you'd see all my hair would lay on the side because I have to keep track of it. The locks, as they get longer, when they rest, they tend to spread out. So they take up more surface area. When it's taking up more surface area and you're doing things, it can run into things, get caught. When I used to wear them with it going straight back, they would like tangle a little bit in the back. As they got progressively longer, you had to worry about where you're sitting and if you're sitting on them. I've mentioned this before in other videos. If I go to use the bathroom and I'm not mindful of where my hair is and I pull up my pants, my hair will be tucked in my pants, tucked possibly in my underwear. That is a no-no. So I always kept my hair up. Sometimes I would cook, the hair would fall into the food. Or I use open flames, gas stove, hair would fall into the fire. I used to check my water levels in my car. And I remember always knowing that you cannot have anything dangling, not even a scarf or not anything dangling into the engine, or you can get caught up and pulled under. I know that's extreme. I'm driving. I just liked wearing my hair up. I wore it up all the time because it was convenient and comfortable. I never wore it down with the attitude of, oh, look at my hair, look at my tresses, I can grow them. I wasn't that type of, I wasn't that stuck to that idea. A lot of people, the people who I run into who always tell me with my hair down, they have a fixation with long hair. Those I know who grow very long hair, they don't ever ask me, why don't I wear my hair down? I noticed that. Maybe it's because they wear their hair up too, or if they've had excessively long hair, they cut it so the high is gone. I just wear my hair up for convenience. I'm comfortable that way.
So is this not something that you like showcasing? Let's say people are curious about the length of your hair, how does it look, just for curiosity. She's laughing.
No, I've noticed something about my hair. Like I have a cousin and she said to me one day when she saw pictures of me and my hair growing out, she's like, oh my goodness, you should have a husband by now. Mind you, I am divorced, but she said, oh my goodness, you should have a husband by now because you have all that long, pretty hair. And I'm like, oh really? Well, in my experience, I have met guys who wow over, okay, that's your hair, that's your real hair, oh, it's long. And the interest is gone after that. And when I say the interest about the hair. We attach so much to the physicality of how we look. Do not get me wrong. Make no mistake. I do think beauty, physical beauty is important. We're women, and that is a, I'm going to say an underscored or underlined portion of being feminine or being a woman. I agree with that. But there's so many other parts to us that comprise our beauty that we ignore that. I remember in the past, people would say, oh, like Halle Berry, she shouldn't have any issue. She'd be married forever and loved forever because she's so beautiful. Men will meet you and they will date you because you're very pretty. But if there's nothing else there, that prettiness wears off. And it depends on the guy. It depends on the guy. When my cousin said that to me, it kind of underlined the mentality, because I'm going to be honest here. When my hair was growing out, you know, I was feeling myself. I was feeling myself more in the, oh, okay, I can style. My hair's natural. I don't have to alter its texture or anything like that. I'm cool. I'm good. But I realized it didn't matter how pretty or how nicely dressed I was. Like I said, you will attract the people to you. But then after they feel like they're winning you over, it doesn't matter if your hair is long or not. Doesn't matter if it's highly polished or anything like that. That does not keep people in your circle. It doesn't keep them treating you right. It doesn't keep them honoring you. I'm learning that I have to do that for myself, period. And, you know, they say philosophically it'll reflect in the outer world, but I'm in charge of that. I have to feel that way regardless. My hair is not all of it. It helps, but it doesn't solve it fully. Did I answer that question or did I go too far off?
Oh, if you did, you did. You're entitled to go whichever way you want. But just on a side note, PR, I just wanted to let you know that I realized that there was a whole bunch of comments that are coming through on YouTube itself. So you're not going to necessarily see it where we're seeing it.
Wow.
So I have been reading some of the comments, and I think the most happiest thing that I've seen is that so many people have missed you, Fenny. Oh. Sorry, that's a slip. That's my nickname for you, PR. They have missed you so much, so it's so great to have you back. But I do want to address one thing.
Okay.
And this was something that you and I mentioned before with each other. We did have one comment about an individual mentioning that this is an intimate conversation about black hair.
Okay.
And is it a little bit strange and uncomfortable having someone like myself of Indian descent being your moderator?
Okay.
So, yeah, I have my perspective, but please, do you have a perspective?
Okay. Someone put that in the comments?
Yes.
Okay, I knew that was coming anyway. All right, guys. This is how this unfolded. When I met Poe, I was talking to her about, okay, so I had the channel and I was hiding it underneath, and she was asking me what it was about. And I said, well, ultimately, I don't even remember if I had the slogan or not. It's about trusting and honoring our beauty. And she said to me, well, okay, what does that mean? You have different ethnic groups and they don't know specifically what that ethnic group, what their beauty standards are and what they subscribe to. So I was telling her, well, I have this hair channel and I'm celebrating the kink, the coil, the wave of the curl, the kink, the coil, the wave of the hair. And I was telling her, sharing with her that a lot of us we are learning to love and like our hair, and we're a little bit slow out the gate. And she said to me, oh, well, in my culture, we also have issues about hair. And we also have a beauty standard. And then she shared with me how the beauty standard for hair there was. What was the beauty standard there, Poe?
Well, a lot of Asians have this slick, straight, beautifully shiny hair. And despite what you may see necessarily now, I didn't have hair anything like that. My hair was thick, boofy, wavy, crazy, and totally out of control. And it was only when I remember when I was older, I actually put a lot of chemical straighteners, and it damaged my hair. So it kind of got to the point where I needed to just find a way to get my hair cut and styled so that it would be manageable. So when you were talking about hair, I thought, wow, okay, maybe the gap or the divide between cultures isn't so great.
You said it perfectly.
That was very interesting from that perspective.
Yes. And why was it that the idea was straight and sleek, or I'm going to say flat, was the beauty standard across the board? I remember growing up, I read an Essence magazine, and there was this, it was from a Jewish woman. And I've heard the term, I don't know if it's derogatory or not, but Jufro, I just thought, okay, they were Jewish and they had basically massively curly hair. So it grew up and out. Just like how you see Justin Timberlake before he cuts his hair down low enough where it's straight, but when his hair grows out, it grows out into an afro also, just a larger, curlier afro. So the woman in the article, and I had cut it out, I don't have that, that was eons ago. She said that when she was growing up, okay, Jewish woman, dark hair, dark eyes, she used to put a blonde towel over her hair because her number one goal was that she wanted flowing, straight, sleek, blonde tresses. And that struck a nerve with me because in my community, we favored or we wanted straight hair or quote unquote good hair. So now when I met Poe and we were talking and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just assumed that all Asians have very straight hair. And she was like, no. And then when she said chemical straighteners, I'm like, holy crap. Holy crap. And then as you start to see the different ethnic groups, you notice that there's the same standard. There's a certain standard that everybody is, so Western standard, everybody's trying to succumb to. And then you realize, you know what, we're supposed to be here and we're all supposed to be different. We all have our own individual aspects of beauty and that we should endorse it and like it. So when she told me that and we were conversing, we just hit it off. We had other goals. We found out that we had parallel lives. We came to the show, we came for the training. I'm starting to laugh and stumble. We came to, there was so many parallels between us. And I was just so blown when she said, okay, we did the straightening thing too. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So to be honest, she's the only one who kept up with me with this type of talk and with this type of journey of expansion and wanting more and learning more about ourselves and accepting ourselves. So that's why she's here today moderating with me.
Thank you. Well, I feel very privileged that you invited me. And thank you everyone for your very kind comments. We've had a few comments coming through, more or less saying that it's so wonderful to share how much we actually have in common as women.
Thank you.
As humans, irrespective of what background that we're from,
Mm-hmm.
we all have struggles. And rather than seeing all the differences between us, why not look at how much we really share and connect on that level? And that's how you and I connected, because we had so much in common. And I noticed there were a few people asking what training was it you and I were involved in, and it was online marketing, wasn't it? Because we are naturally quite introverted kind of people. We don't really feel all that comfortable being online. So PR and I decided, okay, we need to train. We need to understand what it's like to actually be out there and study all the different tricks. And well, here we are.
Yes, and also I wanted to point out that when we were in the training, we were the minorities, and that doesn't necessarily mean that we would click, but we were both women. And there were a lot of women in the training too. Was there more? There was more men, right? More women?
I would say it was 50-50, but maybe the group we were in, there were more women.
There were more women, and on top of it, we were the people of color in the group. There was, I don't know, I think there was just like one more or two more, and not everybody gelled because we were of color. Not everybody gelled. But the thing that, like I said, when I met her and we were talking about issues and beauty and owning ourselves and loving ourselves and endorsing ourselves, we're on the same page because we're basically on the same journey.
Thank you. Okay. Right. Let's get, I know there's some people that do want to ask you a bit more about Sister Locks Matters.
Okay.
So I want to ask one particular question. And look, I'm educating myself as well, because I do like to learn more about your journey and who you are and what you get involved in. So I want to know a bit more about who is Sister Locks for? Who's the right candidate to go for Sister Locks? Or is it just anybody that has that desire?
No.
No? Okay. Please tell me more. She's laughing.
I have met my share of people. Okay, no, Sisters Lock is not for everybody else. You have to be a person that is not into instant gratification. Sister Locks is a journey. It is a lifestyle. People come and they see my hair and they're like, oh, I want my hair to look like that. But it took how many years, how many months for my hair to look like this? People don't see that. So you need patience. You need the endurance to stay on the journey to even get to that point. I've had people who seen people in the street, and next thing you know, they're blowing up my phone and banging on my door, literally, and saying, I want that. That's a long story. I want that. They come in for a consultation, and the first thing they say after they get their sample locks, okay, so if I don't like it, can I take it out? That's why you have a consultation. That's why you sit with the locks for a couple of weeks and you play with it, you wash it to see if you want to embark on that journey. There also, here's the thing that I've noticed. You have to be aware of where you are, how you're feeling, and what you're going through with the sister locks. Because if your life has a lot of stress in it, you do not need to go and sit down in somebody's chair to get sister locks. It will filter through your journey. It will filter through your perception of how your hair is unfolding. I've seen things like that happen also. If you have a lot of stress at home and you get the locks done, you can be irritated by it a lot more. You can try to foresee how you think it's going to unfold. And if it doesn't, you're just even more irritated. Sister locks is for someone who has realized, you know what? I don't want to comb my hair anymore. I did not say not groom. I don't want to comb my hair anymore. I have already explored all the options of having loose hair, and I would like a system. Catching my thoughts here. That endorses me. Am I still going to have to put in work? Yes, you will. You will have to put in time. You will have to put in money and patience, even just sitting down in the chair. If you're willing to do all those things and know in your heart that there is light at the end of the tunnel, then it is for you. If you have straight hair, Sister Locks is not for you. And I say straight hair because, you know, if any does it just because you want it, can you have it? No, the straighter your hair, like let's say like relaxed hair, that hair is not going to eventually Sister Lock. If you were to put Sister Locks in someone who had naturally straight hair, naturally straight, just like a relaxer type straight, that hair, they're not a good candidate. Their hair will not lock. It'll always look like plaits and braids. So no, Sister Locks is not for everyone. It is a physical, it is also an emotional journey with Sister Locks. And sometimes people get Sister Locks and they're just not aware of the different dimensions to their life through the journey of having Sister Locks. They're not. Some people just come and sit in the chair and say, I just want Sister Locks because it looks good. And they're clueless as to how, if they would just pay attention a little bit more, the things that I'm trying to find a way to say this. I'll just use myself as an example. I started to realize that when I got Sister Locks, what I had was enough. And when I realized what I had was enough to be beautiful and to work with, I started to spread that out in other aspects of my life. Some people sit in the chair and just get Sister Locks just to get it, and that's it. It's just hair. And some people notice the transition emotionally that they go through. Because in getting the lock, sometimes you have to confront, I feel ugly right now because I don't fit into this, the common, the masses beauty standard. It doesn't matter within what ethnic group. But if the going look now is weaves or shellacked hair or relaxing and is straight and my hair is fuzzy, because some Sister Locks will be fuzzy, you're gonna have to work through those emotions. You got to work through emotions that your family members will look at you and they'll say, yo, why you have all them plaits? You look. I've had clients with their husbands say, I think your consultant set you up. Because all they see is scalp and they see these little plaits. And then like a year later, they're the first ones to say, oh my gosh, my wife's hair is beautiful. It looks good. She looks good. And when people compliment or approach their significant other in the street, they are the males, the husbands, the boyfriends. They're the ones who jump forward and say, hey, you know, yeah, don't you just love her hair? So it's a journey in all aspects. It's a journey. Not everyone is not cut out for everyone.
That's really interesting to hear. So based on that, what would you say? I believe you've been on the Sister Locks journey for 17 years now. Is that right?
Yes, 17 years.
So
17.
In that whole time, what would you say have been the biggest lessons or biggest things that you can take away because of Sister Locks?
I'm enough. The biggest things, you know, it's so funny. I have not ever, I wasn't one to, because there was classism in Sister Locks when I first started. There were people who were bougie about it, about the Sister Locks. There was competition as how many locks I have, and oh, you can break it down till it's so small that it looks like loose hair. You had all these things going on when I started. I don't know if they're there to this day because I don't really pay attention to those things. And you also had the conferences. I had not gone to any of the conferences. I was just so grateful and thankful that Dr. Cornwell had a system that she brought to the masses that I just felt good because I had it. So I went to one conference, and this is not the conferences when you go and you take training and stuff. And my aunt had Sister Locks. And she was like, come on, let's go. And the only reason, I'm going to be honest, the only reason why I went, because it was 30 minutes away. It was in Camp Springs, Maryland. I was like, okay, it's 30 minutes away from home. I'll just go. So I went there. And while I was there, I saw Dr. Cornwell, and her back was, the stage was elevated and her back was to me. And I kid you not, I just felt all this feeling and everything just rushed from me. And I was just saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for having a system available to us to, it's not even about the beauty standard. It's about the fact that you look at yourself and you say, I'm enough. I really get super emotional on that.
Oh, you are enough, girl.
Because the main thing about it when I saw her was, you took the time out to say, hey, I don't like what we have. You either have to have straight hair, you either have to have and mind you, like I said, I wasn't into running around and doing all this stuff. I really didn't care less. I was just happy I could just leave the house and I felt presentable. Because I remember when I shaved my head, my husband's friends was like, yo, how you let this woman come out the house looking like this? They didn't say much, but when we would go we'd go to the like our functions and the church functions and stuff, you know, they just look at me and they just look away. And I remember approaching him and saying, I have to cut my hair off. I have to cut my hair off. I can't put anything else in my hair. I can't put no more chemicals. I can't put not another braid. I can't put any more weave. And he just looked at me and he's like, okay, you feel like what you have to do. And I remember I went through all of that. I wore that shaved haircut for 6 years. And I said to myself, I'm going to like me. I'm going to like me. Then it was, okay, I'm going to get the Sister Locks. I'm going to get the Sister Locks. There was a thing about, it was so many barriers I had to break to even pursue the dream of having something where it endorses me. So that day when I stood behind her, I just looked at her and I just said, thank you. I just kept silently saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, because of your, see, the funny thing is she followed a need and a desire within herself, because it's like, no, we can't continue to keep living like this. There has to be something that endorses who we are. So the biggest thing that I learned from Sister Lock was everything that I was given with is everything I'm given, everything that I have is enough. My hair is kinky, coily. You can say nappy. It's enough. It is enough when you are aware of what to do with it, how to harness it. So because of that, experience, I started looking and digging and mining other aspects of my life of, okay, this is what I'm given. What can I do with it? That is the biggest thing I've taken from Sister Locks. Sister Locks has been a ricochet effect on me. I'm emotional. Most people don't know me. Most people know that I can be very straightforward and I can have 50 million tangents too. It depends on what mood I'm in. But the thing about Sister Locks is that I admire so much that she didn't keep it to herself. And I admire it so much that there was a way shown. I also admire myself for taking the chance and the risk, because when I did it, not everybody was on board. And when I showed pictures of her hair, people were like, well, why would you want to do that? Because of the mentality that was attached to natural hair or dreads or locks or anything like that. But I still moved forward. And that courage to move forward and to take risk and to get out of my comfort zone, that same thing that was harnessed with the hair, I've also harnessed it with starting a Sister Lock business. I've also harnessed it with getting on YouTube. I thought people were crazy to get on YouTube. What are you getting on YouTube for? You want a lot of attention? You want what? These people don't have anything else better to do. That was my mentality. But when the trainers was like, you got to get on YouTube. You might make a fool out of yourself. Do not edit any of your videos you put up. I just took a skill from another experience and applied it to this. So yes, Sister Locks it's a big thing. I cannot imagine myself ever with a relaxer again. I cannot imagine myself even with straight hair. I think I would look very strange. And that's a deep flip in perspective, because before it was, I will not look attractive if my hair is not straight. So no.
I feel you, girl. And I admire you so much for going on that journey and coming out of the other way, being who you truly are and embracing what you've got. I think so much of the time we try to make ourselves be so different to who we really are, right? To try to fit the beauty standard. And I know I'm going to minimize how much I share because it's about you. It's not about me, guys. Yeah, it's not about me. But I know within the Asian culture, skin color is a very big thing. And being dark and tanned is usually not considered the cool thing. And I know in Asian culture, there's a lot of whitening creams and ways to just not be who we are, which is naturally olive, and that's just the way it is. And look, I'm just happy doing me now.
Yes.
Because the amount of heartache, the amount of effort, the amount of money spent trying to just contort myself in a way other than just being me is just, it's kind of soul destroying, isn't it?
Huh. That's another thing with as you do these practices, you feel that little voice within that keeps saying to yourself, you keep telling yourself, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough. And you get this resistance. I did not like the feeling when I wore relaxers. Whenever I saw my natural hair pop up, it was like a race to go and get it, a race to go and erase the texture. The thing with Sister Locks is as the hair grows out, it's like, oh, I can't manage it as much because the hair will start to want to, mesh or bind a little bit. So it's like, no, you got to keep intertwining it. You got to keep twisting it. You got to keep doing what you do, just referring to locks in general, to keep the hair basically separated. But it's not a thing of what I have that's going out. I can't stand it. I detest it and I don't want it. That's just the thing about it. When you say it's soul destroying, or you feel it. And one thing I could say in getting Sister Locks is that went away. Now, it went away aesthetically, but it didn't go away when it came to, okay, how am I walking on the earth? What am I doing? How am I living? it reared its head in other areas of my life. And because I knew I was able to slay that dragon dealing with the hair, I then was inspired to slay that dragon, even though I do like dragons, slay that dragon when it came to other areas of my life. It transferred over into, okay, this chick that I hang out with is not really for me. Why? Because if I look at the behavior, it's not friendship endorsing. I don't feel the love. I'm putting in more work than I'm getting out. And this is not a, oh, I'm blaming these people. An awareness. I started to become aware that these people were reflections of how I was treating myself. So if I'm with someone who's ignoring me or giving me crumbs of their time, or they're just annoyed just to talk to me or just rush me off, I realized that that was a flip side. I know I'm going off on a tangent, a flip side to, okay, so how are you doing that to yourself? You say you got this channel, you say you're going to do certain things, you say there's certain things you'd like to accomplish, but yet you just keep spitting out videos because, excuse me, you randomly got it. Excuse me. They're decent videos, but I know what I'm capable of doing. So you just throw it out there. Aren't I not ignoring that small voice within? Am I not also treating myself the same way that I'm accusing this person of treating me? I've noticed that even with the certain foods. There's a lot of ethnic foods that I used to eat that I just loved. Until one day it was like, if you keep eating this, you're going to have this problem, that problem. And at first it was like, oh, I can't give up this food. I'm Black. And, you know, I'm Black and Black people can cook some good food. It's West Indian food. And I'm like, okay. But then I realized it's beyond culture. It's beyond conditioning. You have to decide for yourself what affirms who you are or affirms your spirit. Did I go too far off? Because I'm forgetting.
No, I love hearing you talk.
Question. I forgot the question. But no, you're right. It is. It's stifling to the soul. And you get to a point when you have the freedom to walk outside and not run from the rain. The only time that I ever run from the rain is if I sat there and spent all that time, say, curling and braiding my hair, and the rain is outside or the humidity is high, then I'll run from the rain in the sense that I'm not trying to mess up my curls. That's a totally different, it's funny because now my hair is going to go straight once the water hits it. That's a different attitude towards that. Different attitude. Just using that as an example. No. Mm-mm. You can't. You can't. After a while, it's hard to say no to your spirit. It's hard to say no to yourself. Sometimes stuff is not even, it's illogical, but you're like, I can't. I just got to give in to who I am or what resonates with me, what I feel drawn to. And I realized that when I got Sister Locks, that opened that door wide open. When I tell you wide open.
Wow. Now, I just wanted to raise it, and for those that have joined us a little bit later, they're probably saying, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them are saying, like, what the heck, what is this Asian lady doing on here? What does she know? How she correlates with hair and sister locks? Like, do you want to explain what am I doing here?
I thought I explained that earlier. Is that people who are just...
Well, there could be some that join a little bit later and are like, WTF, what is an Asian lady doing here?
Guys, I am so radically different. And the reason why Poe is on my channel is because she resonates with me and we bond on the idea of loving and liking ourselves. When I met Poe, we shared our ethnic standards of beauty, and I realized that they were identical. They're identical. Her beauty standard, they were saying sleek, straight hair was the beauty standard. In the Black community, it was sleek, straight hair is the standard. Certain parts of the Caribbean and Africa, people tone and bleach. Okay. In her culture, they tone and bleach also. Is there not a correlation there? And we're all women. So then you start to realize that who sets these beauty standards? Are we following a beauty standard that endorses who we are and we use what we're given? Or are we following a beauty standard that somebody threw out there and we're to basically aspire? And when I say aspire, it's not anything grand to aspire to. If you look at the world today, everybody looks like, not everybody, a lot of people look like certain celebrities that have large derrieres. They contour their face a lot. Uh, they all, they all wear extensions too. Everybody's starting to look like everybody. Even though we have our different ethnic looks and grouping, we're starting to all groom ourselves in the same way. So we're all starting to get the same residual type of look. Poe is on my channel because I love and I like her dearly. She is like a sister to me. She's my sister, girlfriend. And we're both exploring life, the same journey, but from different aspects or with different perspectives due to where we're from, how we were raised, and within our perspective cultures. She's here on my channel today because I asked her to be, and I asked her to ask certain questions. And I'm not pointing out, when you come to my channel, do you ever get a sense that we talk more about other things than just hair? Do you always get a sense that I'm always saying, trust your beauty, trust your beauty? What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, we all look good. Okay, we can grow hair down to our bum. Okay, but what else does that mean? She has been with me on my journey in expressing that. And she has been on my journey to say, okay, you have a channel there, you have a message, you need to share it. So that's why she's here.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. I feel really honored to be a part of your journey. And let me ask you a question, because I can see some coming through the feed. People are curious about, I was going to ask you this anyway. So you do offer your Sister Locks services. So are there other services that you're offering right now? What are your overall services that you're providing?
I'm a Sister Lock consultant. Yes, I do Sister Locks. I also I do the retightening classes. So if you have Sister Locks, you can take the retightening class with me. You can, thing about that class is that you have to have Sister Locks. You cannot have any other type of lock or locks. You have to have Sister Locks, and you have to pre-register for that class. And you have to know who your consultant is. This is not, there's a lot of people who run around, they think they have Sister Locks and they don't have Sister Locks. That's a whole nother story. But I offer retightening classes. I also offer, people call me to pick my brain about Sister Locks. So I have online consulting. This is different from when you come in and get a consultation for getting Sister Locks, or just for finding information about Sister Locks. The online consulting is done either through Zoom or Skype, where you have questions. People ask me stuff about my hair, what I use, what do I do, what's my opinion on this, how would I take this. People ask me a lot of random stuff way off Sister Locks. So I offer consulting services. In the future, I know you all are asking for the letdown. I will do a series of videos and I'm gonna go get some professional pictures done with my hair down and styling. And I will be putting together a lookbook, an inspirational book for purchase. The thing about it is, once that's done, that's it, because when I cut my hair, I am not ever going to grow my hair to this length again. That I already know. I want to get back into wearing a lot more styles and playing with it and have easier upkeep. So at first I was just going to cut it and just come back online. And then I realized, wait a minute, there's some things you wanted to do with your hair that you haven't done yet. So do that, because once you cut it, that's it.
So how do they reach you if they want one of your services?
Okay, services, because I am behind schedule with my site. Once the site is fully up, there'll be a contact sheet. Outside of that, you can text me. You can email me at trustyourbeauty@gmail.com. You could also email me at emailingcharlie@gmail.com. There's also a number in the description box. I will put that number there again. And I tell people text, but now my texts are just so much. I have to work on that too. I'm gonna have to hire somebody to answer phones and to sift through all that stuff. So you can contact me through trustyourbeauty@gmail.com, emailing charlie@gmail.com.
Okay, so PR, you'll have that written underneath the video for everyone to
In
view
the
in case they forget.
yeah, in the older videos I do. I have emailing charlie@gmail.com, and I have my phone number. That's the business phone number. You can find me in Maryland and you can find me in New York because I do travel. So it's between those two states.
Awesome. So
Are there any more?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I think it's an opportunity to let me look at some of the questions, and I think we've addressed a lot of them, but I did notice somebody asked about your views about all the natural hair care solutions that are out there. What's your perspective?
The person who wrote that, can you ask them, when you say hair care solutions, meaning what exactly?
So let me see if I can find out. Ooh, so while I look for that, PR, there's been a few comments about cutting your hair. Some have said no. So how much are you cutting? Tell them a little bit more about what you're planning with the cutting.
My longest hair strands are at my knees. It's just too much. Like, see this hairstyle? It's in a ponytail. I have about 7 plaids. I kept wrapping it around my head. It's been a challenge or becoming more of a challenge to wash. It takes so much longer to retighten. See, the thing about it is, when I started making these videos, I kept my hair at hip length. That's where lower hip length, and that was fine. When I started working so much, I was not going in to get it trimmed every 8 to 12 weeks. So it's like, what, 18 months later, a year and a half, and my hair is trailing down to my knees, and it's not a good look. If anybody knows what Cousin It looks like, it's just, that's all you see is hair. If I wear it out, I don't even wear it out on the side to the street anymore. Most people ask me, well, Doug, is your hair heavy? Your hair looks so heavy. All you notice on me is hair. You don't notice anything else. It's just hair. So when I cut it, I still want to be able to style it, because if I cut it too short, I won't be able to do my Nefertiti or my Marge Simpson hairdo or hair wrap. I won't be able to do that. I believe I will cut it to waist length, and that's the back. The front, I think I may carry it down to here and have it layered to my waist. That means I can wear braid outs. I can wear the U-boat curls. I can do a lot of other things right now. Plus, when your hair is all one length, or the majority of it, the hair looks flat and it starts to look lifeless. So I'm branching out. I have some clients who have been locked longer than I have, and their hair is at their shoulder blades. And I get it. I really, really get it.
Okay, about the natural hair care, that was very much. Thank you very much, by the way. So some of the natural hair care remedies, do you have any comments about things like rice water? And bear with me, I don't know how to pronounce these things. CHEBE powder. Does that ring a bell? Ginger, garlic juice, etc.
All those things are like stimulants and stuff that people are using to put on the scalp and to feed the scalp. There are so many things out there that will stimulate and nourish the root from the outside, but we also have to nourish the root from the inside. So what do I think about these natural products? I don't know about the what was the abbreviation for when you gave me a string of letters? I don't know what that is. Now I've heard of garlic oil. I've heard of garlic and ginger. I've heard of onion juice. I've heard of fermented rice, rice water. I've heard all those things, and the people who use them swear by them, and it's it's believable.
But do you use any of this?
No.
So what do you use then?
Okay. My main thing that I have ever used, I have not really strongly used things to promote hair growth. I always ended up using things because I had a hair problem. So I remember when I was suffering strongly from KP, I took a lot of bruised yeast. And I noticed that when I took the bruised yeast, my nails grew stronger and longer. And at the time when I had braids, I noticed that my new growth, I had to retighten, I had to get those braids done faster. MSM, I took that because I had a seborrheic dermatitis. The doctor told me I had folliculitis. Whenever I get these readings or these assessments from doctors and medical professionals, I am the first person to say, okay, you gave me a topical application. What can I take internally to speed it up? Because your hair growth has a lot to do with what's in your system and how your body processes it. Sometimes we think, okay, let's take B vitamins. People take B vitamins, people take biotin. I was the type to take bruised yeast because bruised yeast had all the B's in it. Also, I had a doctor, I don't go to him anymore. He was from Brazil. And I remember at one point I was scratching out the middle of my hair. And this was before I got sister locks. And I was just struggling, scratching. And my scalp was inflamed and irritated from the abuse of putting chemical relaxers in my hair. You know, you leave the relaxer in your scalp and you're just like, okay, it's supposed to burn a little bit, or you'll let it burn because the hair needs to get bone straight. Tell me that's not a sickness. Anyway, so I did that. So now the scalp was just irritated. And see, the funny thing about natural products, if your scalp is sick and inflamed, it doesn't matter what natural remedy you use, it still will irritate it. It's like somebody being diabetic and then you think, okay, I'm just going to drink a ton of carrot juice. Carrot juice is natural, but it's still full of sugar. And you can still have complications from that. Just because it's natural does not automatically mean it's going to work for you or it'll do you good. So when I was going through that, he recommended that I take a B complex. He also recommended that I take, cod liver oil. And that was that was orange flavored or cherry flavored. And that was exciting because it was like, oh, all that stuff I threw up. I couldn't take that stuff. I took it. But that just shows people prescribe things to you and it depends on if your body will accept it. But he taught me that certain type of things you have to feed the body inside and out. Plus, when I was growing up, when you were sick, my grandmother would go and pick something and boil something and give it to me to drink. So I knew that when it came to healing or just the body in general, you also have to address the internal. So I advocate that to this day. Whatever you're prescribed, you use it, and you need to also work on the internal. So that's the only reason why I started taking those things. It wasn't the thing of, oh, I'm trying to make my hair grow. I'm trying to do this. I know I had used castor oil to do hot hair, to do hair packs in the beginning, because when I tell you my hair was just breaking, it was just breaking. Oh my gosh, it was just breaking. And I found out it was dry. Then I had mixed concoctions. I'm just all over the place. I had mixed concoctions for my scalp that I had read in these natural hair care books. All of these things work, but you're not told how to use them, when to apply them. I like the rose water and glycerin thing. That's big. I used that. And then I got giddy with the glycerin. Then I realized the glycerin that you buy at CVS is different from the vegetable glycerin that you buy in a health food store. So then you start to realize that, okay, they're both humectants and emollients, but one your body accepts more readily than the other. I was spraying my hair up a storm. My hair was nice and dewy and moist, but I could not style it. I couldn't curl it because it wouldn't hold a curl because it attracted so much moisture to it. But I had a habit of not washing my hair. So all those products that I threw on it started to irritate my scalp. And it started to the point where I was always scratching it out. And then I realized if I just wash my hair a lot more often, it'll stop. My point to all this rambling is you have natural hair care remedies out there, or maintenance or hacks or beauty tips. You have to find out how it works for you. Sometimes you may have to experiment, sometimes you don't. It's on what resonates with you and actually what your body accepts. Do I believe in all those things? Some of those things I've heard works. Now, another thing is some of these remedies work, but they're not socially acceptable. You put garlic and onion in your hair and you go walk the streets, you're not going to have that many friends. Not that many people want to sit down with you at work. Why is that? Because you're smelling like onions. And once the onions and the garlic or the ginger sits on your scalp for a minute and it starts to smell rank, what next? So, it may work, but you have to look at the social ramifications also. My point is, you got to work with things and you got to adjust and tweak it to make it work for you. Yes, that was a very long answer to that one.
But a very thorough one. Thank you. So on that note, and I believe you did mention to me before, we do have a question about, are you going to do more videos about health, well-being, lifestyle, plant-based foods, that kind of thing?
Yes, because that is who I am, and this is my channel. And those who this is people are here. They come here voluntarily. You will see different things on this channel. You will see me. I'll talk about hair. I will still style. I'll share some of the things I eat. I'll share some of my practices. I will share some of my thoughts and my musings, because this is what makes my channel fun for me as well. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to email me. Feel free to contact me and ask me. We had one viewer who called me and told me I need to get my butt back out here. She called me a couple of times. She yelled at me a little bit. I'm here. So I will be covering all those things because people, I have some of my clients, what do you do to stay thin? If they have a problem with certain parts of their body, they'll call me. I'm like, why are people calling me and asking me these things? And I'll tell them, look, I know this person who used this. I know this person did that. I know I did this. Go get professional help first. And, you start piecemealing and figuring it out. So, yes, I will do those things.
I'm looking forward to looking at that because, yes, I know you've studied this area quite a lot and you do quite a lot of research, so I can learn a lot from you. So on another note, I'm one of those people that are admiring your hairstyle. So did you mention before that you were going to create some hairstyling videos for purchase in the future?
Yeah, that's
like that.
That's towards the end. Those are the okay. I'm gonna have more of an inspirational lookbook and styling videos because there's some very elegant updos you can do with very long hair. Also, it's kind of like I know people like pictures to look at for aspiration, to be inspired. Those I'm gonna go take professional pictures for that. When people ask to see my hair, I can stand up and just show you the length of my hair, but I know that I can present long hair to you in a way that will titillate your soul, put it that way. So that project is for purchase. I will still do videos and stuff with long hairstyles, but you won't see me as much put it together. And when I say put it together, in the past, I would sit and I'd personally do it. I may show snippets of it, but then you'll see more of the end product on YouTube. You'll understand as the videos unfold.
Okay, T-Day, I didn't forget about you. There is, T-Day is asking about, will your locks be for sale for starter lock extension purposes?
No. No.
And succinct, no elaboration. Okay. Day, I guess that's just
No,
it.
I am saving them for myself in the later years, just in case. How about that? Sister Locks, if your hair is thinning and you have permanent hair loss, you can get compliments made. If anybody didn't know, compliments, I don't do compliments, and I don't think I'm going to learn to do compliments. Compliments is where, for instance, you like say I have long hair, and because you have to cut off at least 5 inches. So you cut off at least 5 inches, and they make a netting, and then they attach the locks to it. So let's say if you lost your hair in the crown area and it's very thin, but all your hair is still growing luxuriously around, what would happen is that they'd make the netting to cover this part with the locks attached. And if you have, sparse locks here, you will pull it through the netting and it will blend. So you can style and groom your hair, and you'll have a full head of hair. So I'm going to save mine for later years, if that was ever an issue for me. Also, I have my own little superstitions. And some people, when you cut your hair, you burn it. Some cultures do that. I don't know. It might be a souvenir of when I had super long hair. I don't know. But no, I plan to save them.
So, PR, I just wanted to let you know, since I know you're not looking at the YouTube comments, but lots of people are so happy to have you back, and they're saying, I've seen a comment here from Asia, the way you speak and carry yourself is so admirable. Times that by 3, times it by 100, because I agree.
Thank you. I can't see that. I can't see it on my phone.
Yeah, I don't think you can see that.
I thought they were going to come up in the...
No, it doesn't come up on here. So, is there any other questions before PR has her closing notes? Any other questions? They're happy to have you back.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions, but one more time, if they wanted to reach you.
Emailing charlie@gmail.com, trustyourbeauty@gmail.com. That's the email.
Okay, one more question's come through. What's the name of that technique for hair loss?
It's compliments. They call them compliments. Sister Locks call them compliments. I'm going to be fair with you. You have people that how can I say this? Compliments are handmade, so understand that they are an investment. But I have seen the actual compliments. They're quite stunning, and I've seen the pictures of people who've had their hair styled. They're doing 2-strand twists. They're wearing braids. They're going out. The netting is since it's hand crocheted into fine little strings and wefts, it is pretty much undetectable unless you have somebody sit down there and say they're going and combing through your hair looking for it. So they're called compliments.
Okay, I think that's all the questions that we have, PR. Is there anything else you want to close off by saying?
I am happy to be back, and I don't know, this feeling just feels good. It's just and when I say that, because I was preparing for this, and I have been nervous this whole week, and I did not have everything set up perfectly in place. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, it's okay, just get it started, get rolling. Just remember to tune into yourself, tune into how you feel, tune into, is this resonating with me? Is this the best I can do? These questions keep coming up over and over and over again in my head. And these are just all side notes, because now I'm just rambling. The fact that people asked that question The fact yes, did you hear ding? The fact that people ask this question, I was a little nervous about asking Poe to moderate and to co-host and to host. And then part of me was like, because I was like, okay, I don't think my community would be as accepting or something like that. And I still went ahead and did it anyway, because my point is to prove that we have to keep moving forward and doing the things that resonate with us. These are the things that make us different, that make us unique. Like my whole point of my channel, when I say trust your beauty, is to explore all aspects of yourself besides just being a woman and just being pretty or sexy or shapely. What idea, what I know for the longest I've had a calling to do certain things, and now I'm like, I have to explore that. I will not be happy unless I endorse me. And I think that's really very important, because it affects the relationships we have with women and we also have with men. My issue is, I know I'm way off, right? I don't care. My issue with us as women is that we give so much of ourselves away to others, especially men, which is fine, cool. And the love that we are seeking, the acknowledgement that we are seeking, we don't get. And I think that we are the number one, we are the only person responsible for giving ourselves that love and that endorsement. And I really believe, and I'm learning, because it's like layers to an onion. Like I feel like I got it at this point, and then I realize, no, it's getting deeper and it's going deeper. I think my phone it's getting deeper, it's going deeper. And I'm realizing that that is what's missing from the feminine aspect of the human experience. We have to love ourselves more. We have to accept ourselves more. We have to not be cookie cutter. That's it. Trust your beauty and own it. That's it.
Thank you, Pia. And on behalf of everybody, thank you for being back.
Thank you, Poe, for hosting and co-hosting and moderating. I love you and appreciate you. Thank you.
Love you too.
All right, guys. That's it. Love you guys as well. Until next time.